Hey guys, Kyle the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for Black Clover episode 37. I'm so sorry this review's late, guys. I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you guys. I live here in Canada, Edmonton to be specific, and we're kind of in the middle of we're in the middle of a bit of a heat wave right now, and I'm not gonna lie, in the morning, definitely in the morning here, I was definitely in the morning and afternoon part of it. I was suffering through a bit of a major, I guess call it a bit of a pseudo heat stroke kind of thing. Basically the heat was getting to me, and I have very little air conditioning in this house, so yeah, my whole mind and body were just fried. That's why it's taken so long for me to get to this review, yeah. But anyway, I'm sure you guys don't want me to hear bitch about my heat stroke, about my little heat headache. Let's get into the episode, and right off the first off, I legit busted a gut. I could not breathe at the interaction between Jack and Yami at the beginning of this episode. I mean, it was very brief, but that one exchange of words between the two of them was enough to tell me all I needed to fucking know about the relationship, about the kind of friendship that Jack and Yami have. They basically love to troll each other. They basically love to. They pretty much they love to troll each other, and I don't know if it even goes this far, but I want to say that they're like they're basically the equivalent of two men who are basically measuring dick sizes with each other. It's like, yeah, like I just love their their trolly and blunt relationship. It's just funny as hell. And actually, Yami in general had some really funny lines in funny lines and interactions in this episode, and I laughed at every single one. So take that for what it's worth. Actually, I think the even funnier interaction between Yami and Jack was actually the interactions for pretty much Yami and Charlotte. Believe it or not, like it was kind of fun. It was kind of funny to see in order to see Charlotte actually kind of secretly having this little crush on Yami. Like it was it was presented in a way that was actually legitimately funny. Like yeah, like it's one of those two faced kind of comedy skits where it's like yeah, she says one thing, but deep down she's like I actually care about this dude. Like yeah, it's really a freaking it's basically like a tough love kind of weird brother sister relationship kind of thing, and I love it. um, I mean, even though she says she loves him and whatnot, but yeah. Um, so, and aside from that, another thing I really liked about this episode, specifically the action, is that even though it had the moment of Asta essentially defeating the main antagonist, it still presented itself in a way that gave the captains the proper spotlight needed to show us why pretty much Jack, Charlotte, and pretty much Nozell are the top tier fighters themselves, and why they earned those titles of captain. I mean, hell, if anything, Asta took a backseat to all the amazing stuff the captains did in this episode, and honestly, I'd even go so far as to say that. That pretty much Asta even ended up fucking shit up more for them than anything else. Like if Asta hadn't used his magic swords on them, if Asta hadn't used his anti magic swords on Licht, then Licht wouldn't have even gone into that whole into wouldn't have even turned into a living bomb to begin with. At least that's what I think was happening to him. But yeah, like Asta in this episode, he actually did more harm than good, and it was the captains who were actually a lot more of the spotlight, which of course I love. Even Yami, of course. Even in the moment when Asta did jump in, I pretty much felt that particular moment was definitely more showcase for Yami than it actually was for Asta. So yeah, to take again, I guess take that for what it is. Um, Now, speaking of Asta, though, we learn that his anti-magic swords and grimoire originally belong to an unknown shadow master that pretty much leads the that leads the Midnight Sun. And honestly, I'm about to go on a bit of a long kind of theory thing here, but just from that little bit of exposition, I think I have a relative idea of pretty much how all the pieces we've seen fall up to this point are kind of falling into place. For instance, if you guys recall, around 20 or so episodes back, there was a moment where we see the members of the Midnight Sun gathered around a glowing tablet. And at this point, I believe that their master is sealed within that tablet. Now, thing is, we haven't really touched too much on the magic stones plot point of this of the tablet in a while, but I think the fact that the story kind of took an early break from not even focusing on those stones was kind of a deliberate move in order to set up Asta's importance to their master's resurrection. Because I don't know how many, again, it's something I don't know how many people remember from the beginning, like from the very first episode, when Asta first wielded his anti-magic. We see a demonic shadow looming over his body at that point. I think their master's essence and power is essentially trapped in that grimoire, and every time Asta fights, he's actually making the power inside the grimoire. He's actually making the power of the grimoire and the anti-magic stronger. He's actually making it stronger rather than pretty much himself getting stronger. So when the time comes for pretty much this Shadow Master to make his return, I believe all the power that pretty much Asta has. I believe that by that point, after all the power that Asta has accumulated inside that grimoire, I think it's all going to be used in order to break the seal. And when that happens and all the power returns to this Shadow Master, I don't dare think of how strong this guy will be once he's free. Like, if pretty much, again, if Asta keeps feeding power into pretty much the grimoire, then yeah, the Clover Kingdom is fucked basically once this guy returns. And yeah, so at the end, we cut back to the third Eye members back at the Midnight Sun base, and one of them drops a line about the Clover Kingdom discovering Lick's true identity, and I won't lie, it's one of those things, and it really does, it's one of those things for me where it does seem like too much of a coincidence that we haven't seen William Vengeance in a while, so yeah, I will admit Black Clover is making it a little too obvious at this point that Lick's identity is, of what Lick's true identity is. And I can't remember, it's been a while since I read this material in the manga, but I think the manga did slightly better at keeping the identity pretty much under wraps. I can't be for sure, but I think I remember that specifically. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I have for this review. It was a pretty short review, but yeah, if you enjoyed the video, but yeah, honestly, pretty from what we got for an action-packed episode, it was a pretty awesome episode to be sure, and I can't wait to see more. I think Black Clover is finally kind of reaching its peak. That we're finally getting the good stuff right now. So yeah, guys, that's all I got for this video. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Facebook. Death Night of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.